The forecast for that so-called FRANKENSTORM is getting worse by the hour. Hurricane Sandy, right now a Category 1 with peak sustained winds at 75 miles an hour. It's already killed at least 40 people across the Caribbean, 40 in the Bahamas, Cuba, Haiti, Jamaica, and that is only the beginning. Meteorologists say this storm is soon going to collide with a blast of Arctic air, and that could turn it into a juggernaut, a superstorm. And government forecasters now say there is a 90% chance, a virtual certainty, that this superstorm will blast the East Coast. Perhaps 10 inches of rain in some spots, perhaps 2 feet of snow in others, and out-of-control storm surges all over. One meteorologist says Sandy could potentially affect more than 66 million Americans. From Florida up through Virginia Beach, into New York, Boston, and Maine. The governors of Virginia, Maryland, New York, and Pennsylvania have already declared states of emergency, along with the mayor of D.C.
And I don't even know where we can go to vote around here.
Much of the area is still without power. Some residents don't know where they're going to live, much less vote.
This is a 3-hour IntelliCast loop ending at 5 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, October 26, 2012, of Hurricane Sandy. These are not illuminated by the sun. This is the middle of the night. These are chem dumps that are being dumped in this storm. On this 3-day loop of Sandy, ending yesterday, we notice that she is hit on the southwest portion next to the eye with aerosol dumps, chem dumps. Can you see? There it is, the chem dump. Do you see the coastline of North Carolina, South Carolina, all the chemtrails? That are fast and furiously put there on the edge of Hurricane Sandy. Now come up here. Look at all of this infrasonic undulation you've got it going on up here, you've got it going up down here in North Carolina, all of the infrasonic undulation going on. And what does infrasonic undulation do? It pushes the storm. Look at the direction of the infrasonic undulation. It is pushing that storm east-northeast and causing a greater velocity in that storm. I've enlarged this photo so that you should be able to see it. I don't know if you can, but there is sonic undulation, infrasonic undulation going on all around and all about this storm. Curving the storm around, tossing it around, and steering it where someone wants it to go. This was Wednesday's track. This is today's track. Let's go down here. This is Tesla Tech Array infrasound. And the reason it's being used is to create a new system around Santo Domingo, San Juan area, and force that system with this system so as to make it look natural, to steer it in the direction they want to steer it in. Let's look at the larger system over the United States. There's all kinds of weirdness going on. There's some more TTA up here, caught in action. A spike in Nashville, Tennessee. What is it doing? It's creating volatility to come against the storm that's coming inland toward the land to buffet that storm. Let's come down here and look at some things. Right here should be very obvious to you, 2 chemtrails. Very visible.
See him spraying that chemtrail? Yep. Good thing we're above it. I know. Oh, this would be dead right now. I'm going to put this on YouTube.
On satellite imagery. very visible. Do you see how long they go? They go all the way down to here. Then you'll notice more chemtrails staying in the flow, totally against the flow. More chemtrails and more chemtrails. Sonic undulation. More and more. More and more sonic undulation as you look at it. It's not the clear waving, the clear wave that you see here of the hurricane. You see the actual lines of sonic undulation. TTA, Tesla Tech Array, HARP Type Array, HTA, sonic undulation.
HARP is the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Project, originally a joint effort of the Air Force and Navy in cooperation with a number of academic institutions.
It is today the world's largest radio broadcasting station, but it's not designed to broadcast for human ears. It uses unique patented ability to focus the energy coming out of the antenna field and injects that energy into a spot at the very top of the atmosphere in a region called the ionosphere.
HARP is comprised of 180 antennas, approximately 72 feet tall, linked together to function as one giant steerable antenna. Steerable because it can aim millions of watts of ELF waves into one tiny patch of the atmosphere.
The amount of energy we're talking about here is 3.6 million watts. To give you an idea of what that is, the largest legal AM radio station in North America is 50,000 watts. HARP is 72,000 50,000 watt radio stations injecting their entire output into a spot that's about 12 miles across by about 2.5 miles deep by about 90 miles up.
The intense energy being beamed into the sky by HARP is actually heating up the atmosphere, causing weather changes.
HARP is being used for weather modification. The military's own record proves it. They've admitted it within their own documents, and yet they still deny it to the public.
Dr. Brooks Agnew has researched ELF wave technology for the past 30 years.
HARP couldn't affect the jet stream directly, but indirectly it could, because if you push the ionosphere out into space, then the stratosphere just under the ionosphere has to move to fill in that gap. When it moves, it could pull the jet stream with it, thus rerouting it hundreds of miles, changing the way water moves through our atmosphere.
HARP is one of several ELF wave transmitters located all over the globe. The United States owns and operates 3 of them, one in Gacona, Alaska, another in Fairbanks, Alaska, and one in Arecibo, Puerto Rico. Russia has one in Vasilursky near Nizhny Novgorod, and the European Union has one near Tromsø in Norway. Working in tandem, these transmitters could potentially alter the weather anywhere in the world, changing the jet stream's course entirely, triggering massive rainstorms or droughts. Even hurricane steering would be possible by heating up the atmosphere and building up high-pressure domes that could deflect or change the course of hurricanes. There are possibly 20 other ionospheric heaters in existence all over the world. There is no conclusive proof that any of them are being used as weather weapons, though they do have the ability to manipulate the ionosphere. And that brings us to something else. NASA's Ames Research Center in Palo Alto, California, make a discovery. In studying more than 100 earthquakes with magnitudes of 5.0 or greater, they find that almost all of them are preceded by electrical disturbances in the ionosphere.
The people in New Jersey had an early morning wake-up call after an earthquake hit around 1 a.m. in the north part of the state.
That's a community that's still dealing with downed trees and power outages from Sandy. Geophysicists say that some people reported hearing a loud boom.
But President Barack Obama's handling of recovery efforts, praised by the Republican governor of New Jersey as well as New York officials, has been credited with giving him an overall boost in the polls.
It stopped Romney's momentum. And to the extent that people turn on their television sets tomorrow and tonight and see these images of people living under some extraordinarily harsh circumstances.
The folks who have been damaged in that storm have 2 days basically to get ready for another punch of rain, wind, and brutal cold coming in behind. This morning, the wind chills are at 33 degrees, but the real temperature will be in the 30s and near the freezing mark, and in some cases a little bit below.
I would like to remind you, Frankenstein was created too.
There's been a lot of buzz over the last few weeks about strange sounds being heard in the atmosphere.
Noise from an environmental antenna that happens to be there. That is electromagnetic noise. Nice natural noise, but really actually it's not a noise, it's electromagnetic waves emitted.
That weird noise. It's everywhere. The guy's been in New York since the late 90s, so he's never heard that noise before today.
Hearing some strange fucking sounds out there. I have no idea what the hell they are. It's rattling the earth around here. We're in Long Island. And it's fucking loud. You hear that? You hear that shit? Fuck is that shit? What? I have no idea. Like, it's coming straight out of the sky. What is that? This is for you YouTube people.